welcome back to another video. What I've got today is a Sega Mega Drive 16-bit console. If memory serves me correct, this console launched, I think it was 1990 in the UK. My brother-in-law got one of these just as it came out. I think it was around about kind of autumn, August, September. He got one of these consoles and I just fell in love with it. I was never out his house. Sonic the Hedgehog, a few other games he had as well at the time, absolutely outstanding. I was used to the ZX Spectrum, which I was still kind of kicking about with at the time. Talk about being behind the times. But I think round about Christmas that year, this console, they sold millions of them. Very, very popular. Quite a few of my mates bought them. Never actually bought one myself. Loaned one off a mate for a couple of weeks. And then I had started an apprenticeship at the time, and kind of work took over and kind of fell away from it. But this one I've purchased, I think I paid about, let me just check here, I think it was £25 from eBay. Purchased as faulty. There's a few bits and bobs wrong with it. One of them being, I think the seller mentioned there's no colour. The console itself is, well, it's showing its age, isn't it? There's quite a bit of finger gravy in there and God knows what else. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to bore you with taking screws out and stuff like that. There's many channels already showing you how to do stuff like that. So what I'll do is, first of all, is I'll get the lid off it and get the RF shielding off it as well, and have a quick kind of look at the board. One thing I have done is I've purchased a capacitor replacement kit from Digital Delights, which I bought online. So you've got, I think there's about 20 odd capacitors in there. There's a couple of voltage regulators as well come with it, so we'll get them swapped out as well. And I think we'll probably hit them with some heat paste as well. Yeah, I think we'll stick some heat paste on them as well. Probably exactly the incorrect amount, just to help wick the heat away for them, because they can get quite hot. So without further ado, the next picture you'll see will be inside the console. So my mind boggles. I have absolutely no idea what that is, but it looks pretty disgusting. It's going to need a good clean. Yeah. God, that looks disgusting. That's still liquid, whatever that is. There's still moisture in that. Oh. Right, well, let's get the board out of this thing. Let's have a quick look and see what we're working with. There's quite a few screws missing out of this. I think there should be a load of screws across here. One looks like it's been, yeah, that board's definitely been out before, I think. Oh, there's quite a lot of missing screws. Right. Yeah, I think we'll take this heatsink away as well. And these will be getting replaced. So I'm not even going to attempt to switch this on until, oh dear God, dear God. Right, that's that out the way. Yeah, that's disgusting. Right, get anything else holding this in? I think this tab will need to be bent over, possibly. Yeah, half the screws are missing from this. Half the screws are missing. Yeah, there's crap all over it. That ain't looking good. Right. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it seems to be everywhere, all over the board. Yeah, you can see that. Disgusting. Yeah, it's going to need a good clean. Right, let's get some IPA and give it a good spray. And get some into those switches as well. And we'll use a swab. Alright, that is absolutely filthy. This is mad. I have no idea what that is. because it's pretty disgusting. I'm having to actually scrape it here. I'll try a knife blade. Jesus.
One eternity later.
Okay, so I think I've got the board as clean as I can get it. I've managed to get all that off. Now, I didn't taste it, but I could smell it, and it was sugary. So it's looking like someone spilt a bottle of cola or something like that over it. And it was really, really thick. It was like hard. It wasn't even it was syrup. It was really, really hard. So I think I'll get most of it off. The underside of it, there's a few wee bits underneath, but I should be able to clear them off. Now underneath this crystal here, what's that? 53 megahertz. I'll check that on the scope just to make sure, but it looks, I don't know whether it's flux, or I'll try giving that a clean and see. But there's definitely something. I don't think it's burnt. I think it's just, yeah, the fizzy drinks got underneath there as well. Yeah, there's a few bits here I can feel that are quite syrupy, for want of a better expression. But it is coming off with a bit of elbow grease. It's coming off. Right, so I think at this point, folks, I think we're ready to do the recapping now. As I say, I still haven't switched this thing on. I just, while I had all that mess on the board, I wasn't confident in case something was shorted, or because it's still quite wet and sticky, so the chances are that something might have been shorted. But I think we've pretty much cleared that up. So I think what we'll do is I'll just crack on, and we'll get the board recapped, and we'll change out these two voltage regulators as well, and get some thermal paste on them, the incorrect amount obviously. So let's get started with that.
Thousands of tears later.
Well, unfortunately folks, I completely lost all my footage of recapping the board. All these capacitors, as you can see, have now been replaced, and also replaced the voltage regulators. They're all done. But like I said, I thought the camera was recording, but it wasn't. So what I've also done is I've taken deoxit across the contacts on the cartridge slot, and I've reflowed all the joints underneath as well. I've also had a quick look at the legs on these two ICs, because these are quite common for lifting off the pads, due to the cartridges being pulled in and out over the years. But they look fine. The rest of the board looks okay, and there doesn't seem to be anything untoward. So what I'm going to do now is I have purchased the correct power adapter for it. Bearing in mind that these adapters are tip negative. So I've purchased that from adaptersrus.co.uk. Relatively cheap. And as you can see, that adapter is tip negative or centre negative. So what I'll do is I shall plug that in and we'll give the console a test. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test it on my computer screen first. The picture quality isn't going to be great because I've got it going through a SCART cable, which then runs into a media converter, which converts that to HDMI, which then converts from HDMI through a USB video capture device, which isn't the greatest. So the picture quality is pretty poor. So what we'll do is I will fire up VLC media, open capture device, USB video, and I shall put the cartridge in, power it on and see what happens. And there we have it. It's a worker. So there we have it, folks. One working Sega Mega Drive. What I'll do now is I'll get the case back on it, get everything built back up. Couple of little jobs that I've still to do. As I've still to do the retro brighting on the bezel at the front. It's that's the original colour, and that's the colour there. So I'll do a bit of retro brightening on that. I've got some hydrogen peroxide and a UV light, so I'll get that looking as best I can, and get that back on. So the next thing you'll see is the case, the top cover back on, heat shield on, ready for playing. Okay, well, with the exception of the front bezel here, this decal, that's it, it's done. It's the right good clean. I might actually try giving it a polish. I'll use maybe some floor cleaner or something, just to put a bit of shine back on it. But other than that, it's a goer, job done. So I'll get this done. This is going to take maybe a day or two in hydrogen peroxide, and this should lighten up significantly, so that it matches the rest of the console. And that's it, all done. Sega Mega Drive completed and all working. Thank you.